Today, we're happy to be filming from the Elementos Hotel based in Rhodes Park. This beautiful premises is where we're interviewing Miss Joanna Bannerman, the MD of Access Bank Zambia, who is also a sponsor of the Inspirational Women's Series. Welcome, Joanna.
Thank you, Monica. Thank you.
When we were looking around for sponsors for the Inspirational Women's Series, we really scratched our heads, and then we remembered about Access Bank and about the work that you're currently doing with women. Why did you choose to sponsor it?
Well, for us, women have a lot of stories to tell. And we believe that International Women's Day, being one day that's set aside to celebrate women, is one day that we can put our money where our mouth is and show that as a bank, we really support women and we believe in the story of women.
I've got to say that on a personal level, I actually can relate to that. I started my business in 2012, Java Foods, and Access Bank has stood with me when I had no money, and now when the business is much more successful. So on a personal level, I'm really grateful for what the bank has done for me and for other SMEs that we have brought along. So
Most
well done.
welcome.
Yeah,
and thank you for giving us the opportunity.
Not at all, not at all. So Joanna, tell us a little bit more about the products. And I mean, that's one thing I like about Access Bank. You've really tailored products which are really focused at women.
We realize that the story of banking will not be complete without paying attention to women and focusing on women and bringing out products that can actually enhance the performance of women. So to that extent, the bank came out with what we call the W initiative. It's an initiative and it's meant to inspire women, connect women, and empower women. Those are the three main areas that we feel that we will be able to help women grow their businesses, achieve their aspirations and all of that. As a bank in Zambia, and as a woman, I'm very proud to say that we have more females in our bank than males. About 63% of our workforce is female. And so that leaves about 37 or so.
But that's exceptional because it's something you don't hear of, and to hear that 60%, you know, it's usually the 40%.
Exactly.
Yes. So
exactly.
that's exceptional, yes.
Exactly. I can understand, I mean, you know, banking is hard-nosed business. You need to come out with numbers. You're looking for profit to pay back to give
long
something.
Hours,
yes, to give something back to shareholders and all of that. So it's a very hard-nosed business environment. And so there are those who feel that, I mean, if you have too many females, it's too expensive. You'll be paying for time that they are not working, for instance, when they are on maternity, etc. So those are some of the issues that other institutions try to resolve by having more males. But as a female, I find that it's not acceptable that because of the biological roles that women play, they will lose out in their professions. But truth be told, I mean, if a woman takes time off and the males are there, they are likely to be the ones who are promoted. They are the ones who get the opportunities when they come up and all of that.
And that's why you have to be much more deliberate and focused about women.
Exactly.
But you share some really interesting things about stereotypes and barriers. I mean, just what you said, you know, you're paying for time when they're not working. A terrible stereotype, because we do know when women are in the office, they are working.
Exactly.
I mean, on a personal level, how did you overcome barriers? I mean, to be one of the very few female MDs of a bank in Zambia. We have over 24, and I think there are probably 2 or 3. How do you overcome some of the barriers? What would you be saying to a young banker, a young woman who wants to be a banker?
Okay, for a young woman who wants to be a banker, the first thing I'll say is that you should not expect that you'll be treated any differently. Like I said, it's a hard-nosed business environment. Numbers speak, and they are important, and people need the results.
Yes.
Every woman that has achieved something and that has become a role model worked hard,
yes,
and made sacrifices. And we cannot expect anything less.
So what you're saying is that you're not necessarily making it easier for women, but what you're saying is you're not going to discriminate against women.
Exactly.
Yes, I understand.
Exactly.
I understand.
And to be honest, I have fantastic females on my staff. In fact, perhaps in Zambia, we are the only bank that has a female CEO, a female CFO, a female COO, a female corporate communications head, a female head of retail, a female.
It's not only bank. I think very few companies will have in the C-suite majority women. And then congratulations to you, Joanna, for the leadership, because clearly it's been you that has brought these women in. They've followed you, and so congratulations for that.
Thank you.
No, you mentioned something very interesting about fitness and health, about how we must look after oneself in order to excel. I want to be personal, Joanna. How do you do it all? I mean, you are an MD of a very big bank, part of a very large group. You manage your family. Do you have time for yourself?
That's a good question, because for a long time I didn't, because I had to split my work between my family and my work at the bank. So for the longest time, I wasn't actually taking time out for myself, because my children were growing. They needed all the time and attention. My husband, I mean, the whole family thing and all that. But with time, I realized the importance of that. So a group of us females got together, and we would spend at least an hour. There was a gym close by, an hour in a gym. We would come back, refreshed and feeling better about ourselves and everything. So that was the beginning of paying a bit more attention to myself. And I think I'll actually encourage women to take time out and pamper themselves from time to time. What it does is it rejuvenates you. Sometimes you get new ideas even just by relaxing and then spending time on yourself and all of it.
And reflecting, I guess.
And reflecting.
No, I completely understand.
Yes.
And on a personal level, why do you think International Women's Day is important?
I think it's extremely important because, the stories that most people, especially including young ladies, have heard are about men. There's nothing wrong with telling the stories of men, but there's everything wrong with not telling the stories of women.
We thank you. We really thank you for your time, for your focus and your clear determination about bringing more women through Access Bank. And lastly, thank you for sponsoring Inspirational Women's series. I think we found that when we work with partners on big issues like this, we're more able to touch many more lives. So we really appreciate it. Thank you very much.